Have you ever used ChatGPT, Weather app, and Google Maps in another app and wondered how it works behind the scene? The magic word is API, and the gatekeeper of that magic is an API key. Today we are breaking down how API key actually works, clearly, simply, and with a real world example. No fluff, no bullshit, just pure clarity. Let's go. Let's start with the basics. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Think of it like a waiter in a restaurant. You, the user, tell the waiter what you want to eat. They go to the kitchen, the server, and bring back your food, the data, and serve it to you. In the tech world, API let the app to talk to each other. For example, when a weather app pulls the data from WeatherAPI, it's using an API request. Now comes the real question. Why do we need to use API? An API is like a digital ID card. It identifies who's making the request and ensure the API is not abused. Abused in that sense, you're using API too much and all, or either the API is exploiting the server. For example, the Google gives you the API key to use Google Maps on your app. OpenAI give you the key to access the ChatGPT from code. Your key tell them how many requests you're making or you have made, what service you're using, and whether you're even allowed to use that service or not. Without an API key, there is no any possible way to manage bill, users, or limit. Another example, think of an API key like an office ID card. The building won't let just anyone walk in. Your ID card says who you are, what you're allowed to access, and how often can you enter in the building. The server checks, is this a valid key? Has the key hit its usage limit? Does the key have the permission to access these endpoints? If all these criteria is checked out, it sends the data back. If not, you'll get the error like 401, 404, unauthorized, or 429, any number, too many requests whatsoever. Okay, here's a quick example using Python and the Open Weather Map API. It's a simple program that I've already fixed from ChatGPT and all. Let's dive into that. First, you have to go to this website, then create an account. I already have an existing account, so I'm just signing into my account, and here we are. We have all successfully logged into this web page, and then we will go to the API section. And as you can see, I've already got 2 API key active in my account. If you want to create another one, like suppose that's ESG and generate. In this, we've got our final ASDSD API key, and make sure you wait at least 10 to 15 minutes after you just created this API key. Here it won't work properly. It will say the error code 401 and on. So wait for at least 5 to 15 minutes after creating this API key. This line import the request library, which basically allows us to make HTTP request in Python. Think of it like a messenger. It sends a request to a website or API, and it brings back the response in JSON that we have here right now. And this, the API key. Here's the key, literally. The API key is what tell Open Weather Map, hey, this person is authorized to access weather data. Without a valid API key, you get the error 401, unauthorized, simple as that. City is equal to London. We are setting the city we want to get the weather data about. You can replace London with any city or even take user input later. And this is where we build the full URL. We are saying give me the current data for city using my API key. And the unit part is optional actually. It just tells the API to give us temperature in Celsius, the metric system. And here's the action. We send a GET request to that URL and store the request in response. Then we convert the response from JSON to a Python dictionary so we can work with it easily. This check if the request was successful. Status code 200 means OK, and the API responded properly. Now we extract and display specific values from the JSON data. City and country, like here we get the city and here we get the country, and here we got the weather, temperature in Celsius, like here we have humidity percentage at particular area, what is the humidity percentage, and the final wind speed. And finally, if something goes wrong, we display the error code and the message. So now you know how an API key actually works, how to fix the invalid key error, and how to use Python to build a working weather app. You can take this space and turn it into CLI app, web app, or even a voice assistant. And you have to wait for at least 10 to 15 minutes after your API is generated. Okay, and now our program is ready, and here we open our command prompt and select the directory where the fin.py is situated and response.json is. So let's run this program once. Our city selected to London, and we got all the details that we have asked for here. And let's change the city London to Raipurville. And then save the file, and we will simply save Python -fin.py. You can say Raipur in clear sky, 40°.35 degrees Celsius, humidity 8%. And for another, let's go for like France. This is France, yeah. Weather is overcast cloud, 30°C, and wind speed is 4.26 meter per second. So here's our working code. We finally made a API request. You can see how easy that is. That's it. 1K unlocks access to a live weather data. And now the important step. Never hard code your API key into anywhere, into front end or your public GitHub thread. Anyone can steal it. And now the important step. Never hard code your API key to your any front end code, or do not show that publicly to anyone. Anyone can steal it. Best practices you can do it, store it in environment variable that was way better, .env files. And if your API gets stolen and if they use it adversely, like as possible as they can, then you will receive a high amount bill and you'll wonder, how did I get this so much bill? I've not used that API too much. Like, and the best thing you can do is delete your API key from where you get the API key, from the server of Google, OpenAI, whichever the API you are using. Or delete it. Either you'll receive a huge bill which you can't supposed to pay, or you can't pay. So that's how API key actually works. They send request to your database or the server. So that's how API key actually works. Carrier identity when you're using someone else's app or services through the code. Keep them safe, know your limit, and build responsibly. If this video helped you out, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. If you want to deep dive into building your own system or own API, I've got more tech stuff coming that you don't want to miss. Peace out.